Hey everybody, welcome back. I am Brianna Lentz of Educating Wildflowers. Hi, how are ya? Happy to have ya. It is Monday, June 27th, 2022, and we've been having a ball. That rooster is so rude. He just completely interrupted me. Can you hear him in the background? Anyway, we've been having a blast. We've been having like a staycation the last week, so we've been having a different kind of week. Again, this is a podcast. If this is your first time here, hi, thank you for coming, where I do a reflection on our past week as we're going into home-based learning, and it is still summertime. So I talk about how I'm preparing for the next year and the whole kind of process, and I just kind of start talking about stuff and see where we end up. I'm going to warn you, I haven't been doing my daily reflections or my to-do list, so I'm a little bit more scattered than normal. And what that tells me is that they're very important and that I have to do those. I have to sit down and have the discipline, because discipline equals freedom, and I need to be doing that because I'm recording this video and I'm all over the place. But when I do my daily reflections, or if I wake up in the morning over my coffee and I write my to-do list and I can see where I go from day to day to day, my thoughts are so much more organized, which then leaches out to not just you guys here on social media listening to me, watching me, but more importantly for my kids and my husband and our farm. So let's just start with some of the fun stuff. Actually, let's not start with the fun stuff. Let's just dive right in, because in the last week we've had a monumental moment in our U.S. history where Roe versus Wade was overturned. Okay, and you listening to me are either going to be pro-life or pro-choice. I do not believe that you're going to be in the middle on abortion. I am pro-life. I have been pro-life. I have no memory of being pro-choice. I have none, ever. All I have are memories from even in high school, having, losing friendships over being pro-life. So I'm not going to sit here and preach to you about it, okay? You either believe what you believe. My big thing on the Supreme Court overturning Roe versus Wade, okay, is that they took this from being a federal law and gave that power back to state government, which makes me exceptionally happy, because America is going and making bigger and bigger and bigger laws on a national, federal level where they should be at the state level. So giving that power back to the state level is where, in my opinion, it should have been the entire time. The beauty of the United States of America was that these powers were supposed to be kept in the colonies. Then as it became states, the states were supposed to have the majority of the power, not the major government of the United States, which definitely changed after Abraham Lincoln and the Civil War. A lot of things changed. We had Juneteenth. Thank God that slavery was abolished. A lot of other things changed after the Civil War and Abraham Lincoln, and a lot of power was given to a state level to unite the states, and especially during the Industrial Revolution, and then you had World War II, which changed a ton of things to federal levels and that whole thing. And then you have the 60s, which you had a huge civil rights movement. And then you have the 70s, which was right after that. And you have just a ton of stuff that changed and made things on a federal law. And I'm not talking about any issues on racism here. I'm specifically talking about power at a federal level and a state level, and me believing the power should always be lesser. Government should have less power, and for it to be at the state level is a win. So that was huge. I just couldn't go into kind of like the day-to-day things without discussing that, because it was like the elephant in the room. And for being quiet for so long, like I just couldn't imagine just not talking about that. And I just want to say, whether you're pro-life or pro-choice, you are welcome to have a conversation here, and you are welcome to listen. I'm not going to say, don't listen to my music. I mean, come on, that's dumb. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you can go Google Pink, and you can go Google Green Day, okay? And people just need to stop saying that they're going to renounce their U.S. citizenship. Okay? If you're a U.S. citizen, there is no way you're going to say, I'm going to choose to not be a U.S. citizen, and I'm going to choose to give up all of these privileges that you have as being an American. So that just needs to stop. And our media needs to stop giving them that coverage, because that's ridiculous. They can do whatever they want, but I mean, it's just, look at me. I'm giving it space. I'm giving it worthless time. So moving on. We have had a blast. Like I said, we've had a lot of fun doing all the summer things. Let's go to the next chapter in this book of podcast number 4, which would be, how am I preparing for the school year? Well, number 1, I've made a big choice. I am listening to my intuition, which tells me to not start at the beginning of July, which I was thinking about doing. We're going to start the school year at the beginning of August. We're going to take the next 2 weeks to just chill. They're going to go on a vacation and go spend time with their relatives, their aunt and uncle, and then they're going to go spend time with their grandparents, and they're going to just have a great time for about a week, and then they're going to, I'm talking about them like my kids, and then we'll come back, settle in for a couple days, and then we're going to start a school year at the beginning of August. And then I'm not that worried about it. My kids work at a pretty high pace level, so I'm actually thinking that they're going to finish things faster than intended, or they're going to want to keep going on things. So my whole point of this year is that they get to work at their pace, and I don't need to rush that because they're fast workers anyway. And so I'm just having a bunch of fun planning stuff too, and kind of nesting. So we're going to start in August, and then we'll see how things go, and we're just going to move forward with the plan of the day in August, which is really relieving to me. We have our first co-op meeting this month on the 21st. Our local library, which is where the co-op meeting is being held at, is being promoted on their Facebook page, which is the main source of community conversation here where I live in southeastern Oklahoma. So that was so exciting, because that's like, it's real. I've had been able to put that on an even larger level and had people reach out to me in support of it, which is, as you know, very important to me. Even if people don't support it, I'm confident enough in what we're doing to have a conversation why we are, and if they disagree with it, that doesn't change the cost of tea in China and what I'm doing, right? So that happened. We have been doing a lot of outdoor activities. We've been doing a lot of farm activities. The ducks are doing great. The pigs are doing great. We're going to have piglets here anytime, because our Jill is pregnant and she is dragging on the ground. We've got our chickens are doing great. We have an extra cat, which we'll have to see how this extra cat, this stray cat that has become part of our litter, she's a good cat. But it's touch and go with the other cats if they accept this cat. Our garden's doing okay. I can't wait to be able to give more time to it from the beginning next year, or even for this fall, for our fall harvest. We went to the Robbers Cave 11th annual Robbers Cave Antique Tractor and Implement Show. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to link down below in our description box, if you're watching on YouTube, a video that I posted on our day, like a vlog of our day at this show at Robbers Cave State Park in Wilburton, Oklahoma. It was so great. I have heard about it, but I really wanted to take the girls to go to this event because they had this old corn mill and a blacksmith, and the girls love early American stuff. If you don't watch this early American YouTube channel, I'll also link them down below. If you're listening, just YouTube search early American. They are a couple, this channel is a couple who will dress up as like early 1800s, and they live in a cabin in Missouri. I grew up calling it Missouri, in Missouri. And I mean, it's a wood stove. They cook in cast iron over their, not wood stove, that is incorrect, fireplace, and that is their wood stove. It's literally their fireplace, and they do these old recipes from late 1700s to about, I think maybe the latest that they do is maybe 1826, but at the end of the video they will show the receipt of where they got this recipe from, and there's no talking. It's basically like ASMR, but you're watching this gal do early American cooking. And she'll even from time to time like show how she has to do the dishes and the wash or the ice cream or the laundry, or simple tasks that they had to do that today is like fast, but back then was a process and a setup, and you do it and then you clean it, and there was no electricity. So I mean, it's just fantastic, and my kids have just been super drawn to it. They love it. They ask to watch early American videos. And so then for this event, for them to be able to see blacksmithing, you know, my oldest daughter was like, oh, there's a, you know, to pick up on different simple machines that they have now, but that is like an evolution of technology. She was able to see, you know, a washing machine, why that would have been such an evolution in technology and engineering from having to do it by hand. Same for my daughter, Jules, and she just likes housework anyway. So for her to see that was cool, and then to see what our laundry machine does. And just to have a perspective and a touchstone of where this began to where, you know, this early American that we're seeing at the tractor show, like 1920s, 1930s to 1950s, how that was so monumental at the time to what we have now. Just this idea of convenience, like they're understanding that by seeing it and doing it. Anyway, so they were super drawn, and I'll show you, I'll link down that video, because it goes through this part where Fiona, my 9-year-old, is identifying like the simple machines, the pulley, the wheel and axle, and it's so cool. And the questions that she's asking were so cool to see and document. That's kind of the cool thing about doing YouTube, is that I have these home videos that I don't know if I would have otherwise. I might have them scattered over in my photo library, but I have them condensed down to a video that I can look back and be like, oh yeah, and I can watch it, you know, my own home video. Whether or not you guys watch it, I have it, which is priceless. But my youngest daughter, Jules, she is 5, and she loved the corn mill. So it's this machine where you stick in the dry corn on the cob, and you pull this machine, you twist the wheel, and then the corn goes down, and it takes all the corn off the cob, and then you take that loose corn, and then you put it in this other machine, and you put it down there, and then you grind it, and you make cornmeal. And then to have this, what is that thing called that you have this, it's on the tip of my tongue, you guys. Like you do spices, it's like you muddle it, and then you can make ground spice or flour. That bothers me. If you know what, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. But you could take like the coarse corn, and then you could like grind it down into flour for corn cakes or whatever. And that was her absolute favorite. She said that if we had that would be her chore. Like she claims it, she just loved it so much. And so that was super fun. You know, there's a guy doing simple leather tooling by hand. There was a activity where the girls could see rope be made. They were able to taste homemade root beer. They were able to taste homemade ice cream. I mean, like old churn ice cream. And so it was great. And the community aspect of it was great. It was just wonderful. So if you live in southeastern Oklahoma and you haven't been to the 11th annual tractor show out there in Robbers Cave, highly, highly recommend. So that was great. But we've just been having a really good time, and we're going to be continuing to have another good time, you know, for the rest of the week. I have started binding their curriculum. Like I said, I ran out of paper. Jason got me a whole stack of it, so I will not run out anytime soon, and so I just have to print out the rest of them, and I need to continue binding that, and I'll be making another video of the process of me unboxing like the book binding tool that I bought, the laminator that I bought, and how I bind their curriculum at home. So tedious, has to be done. Glad I have the ability to do it. Can't wait for it to be finished. So yes, very excited. I feel very confident in the choices that we've made, and no complaints. No complaints. So I hope you guys have all been doing really good. I don't really want this to be a huge video this week. I don't want to fall out of habit. My goal for this podcast is to be here weekly, and I'm already a day behind, but if I fall out of habit for 1 week, I will have the tendency to just fall out of habit with it. So my goal for myself is to be here every week, hell or high water. Can I say that? Well, I did. So that is my personal goal of discipline, because discipline equals freedom. I hope you all have been doing really good. I hope you are enjoying your summer. Next Monday is 4th of July. I cannot wait. 4th of July and Halloween are my favorite holidays. I have very, very, very special childhood memories. Some of my best childhood memories are 4th of July. So I hope you have a wonderful time celebrating 4th of July. I will probably talk to you before then, but I'm just excited about it. And I hope you guys subscribe. I hope you guys comment down below. I hope you guys, if you've already subscribed, please hit that bell because it will notify you. Like, we're going to be flooded. Like, it's easy to just subscribe, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, you know the spiel. And thank you for listening. I hope you all have a great day and a great week. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.